Ntzavim means standing, Vילך means moving. Is it possible to do both? Yeah. I have seen it. Today, so it's the last speech of Moshe Rabbeinu before he's nifter. The last mitzvah in this week's parsha, what's the last number of the mitzvah? The last mitzvah is which number?
613. The last number is 3.
Number 613. Very, very interesting. You knew this? Okay, I also. No. Yeah, Taryag, yeah. Okay, so the last speech that Moshe Rabbeinu gives, he gives Klal Yisrael Musar, tells them that if you forget about Hashem, Hashem is warning as well, saying that Hashem is going to, if you forget about Hashem, He will make believe like He's not there. But He gives over the, so to say, the leadership. He's told to give it over to Yeshua ben Nun, and he gives Yeshua a bracha. The pasuk says in Parashat Vayelach, "Vayikra Moshe Yeshua vayomar elav le'inei kol Yisrael chazak ve'emotz, ki ata tavoi es ha'am hazeh el ha'oretz asher nishba Hashem la'avoisam l'seis lahem." The exact translation, ki ata tavoi, according to the most reliable translation, is the Art School. At least that's what Art School told me. For you shall come with the people to the land of Hashem. And then this mamish pasuk for pasuk, word for word, you have the Rebbeinu Shalom giving Yeshua a bracha, and the pasuk says in pasuk Chav 23 psukim later, "Vayitzav es Yeshua ben Nun vayemar chazak v'amotz, ki ata tavi es bnei Yisrael." In Vazok, the Art School again, you should bring the children of Israel to the land. So one place it says, when Hashem is saying it, He's saying you should bring, and when Moshe Rabbeinu says it over, He says, and you should come. What's the difference between bringing people and coming with people? One is you together with the group, and one of them you're the leader. Hashem is telling Moshe Rabbeinu that you should be the leader. I'm sorry, to Yeshua ben Nun, you should lead them. You shouldn't go with them as you're part of the group. You should be the leader. You should go in front of them, bring them into the land. When Hashem created human beings, do you know who the first human being was? Yeah, Adam. HaKadosh Baruch Hu consulted with the Malachim, and he said, Nasa Adam b'tzalmeinu kidmusenu. He's consulting with the Malachim. How should we do it? He did not, so to say, if we may even say this, that Hashem consulted with others. He didn't just decide on his own. He did not take the leadership. He felt like keeping everybody in the loop or taking their advice. So in one place he consults with the Malachim, and over here he's telling you, no, you be the leader. Moshe Rabbeinu, on the other hand, is telling him, you be part of the people. Why is it a little different? Why do we see what's the difference between Moshe, the way Moshe Rabbeinu was saying it, and the way the Rebbeinu Shalom was saying it? So I heard a very nice word that hopefully I could relate a message that may impact somebody. And if it doesn't, maybe it'll have an impact on me if I listen. You guys know you can always find this on YouTube, so maybe I'll listen to this on the way back. Sometimes you have to be a leader, and sometimes you can be part of a group. When is it important to be a leader? when you're alone, when nobody else, when you see a pushback, when people are not interested in doing what's right. It's not that Chas v'Shalom, Rabbi Kushner was taking advice from Malachim should he create people. It's important to, the Malachim are here, he's going to bring in a whole new concept, human beings are coming in. Why not ask them for their advice? Let's discuss this. Moshe Rabbeinu, on the same, trying to follow the same mahalach, we're going into Eretz Yisrael. What did Moshe Rabbeinu say? Is it okay if we send the Meraglim? Is it okay if we send spies to go find out about Eretz Yisrael? And what happened? They came back with Lashon Hara. They came back, caused whole Klal Yisrael not to want to go to Eretz Yisrael, which caused us a delay for a good 39 years to go into Eretz Yisrael. Caused us that 600,000 people did not merit to go into Eretz Yisrael. It's sometimes you don't ask for you don't consult with others. You have to, if it's the right thing to do, if this is what the Rabbi Kushner wants you to do, sometimes you have to take yourself out of the group and take leadership. And that's the bracha where Moshe Rabbeinu said it a little different than HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Moshe Rabbeinu wanted Yeshua ben Nun to take over Klal Yisrael and get them to want to go there. Get them to go to Eretz Yisrael and go with them. And the Rabbi Kushner was telling Yeshua ben Nun, and even if they don't want to go, make them go. It's not always good to force people. It's not always good to put the pressure, but sometimes pressure is needed. All of us have in our lives or in our way, there's two different ways of getting people to join you in great deeds and great things that you do. Sometimes you have to put the pressure. There's peer pressure, or machal, there's other ways of putting pressure, and sometimes people want to do it on their own. When we try to better ourselves, when we try, we're now coming towards the end of Chodesh El, already the 22nd day of El. We've been hearing the shofar, saying L'David Hashem, trying to get ready for Rosh Hashanah, hearing already a Ramban shir on Rosh Hashanah, hearing shmuzim that are getting you ready to the mode of Rosh Hashanah. The Yetzer Hara doesn't want people to change. It's the worst thing for the Yetzer Hara that we become better people and stop talking Lashon Hara, or stop talking during davening, or stop doing things that we have a Yetzer Hara to. And sometimes you have to be the leader. And sometimes you have to force yourself, or hopefully hopefully that will bring others to join you. And sometimes you could join a group. It could be both. But it's okay, and it's important sometimes to take the initiative and to try to become a better person, even though people sitting around you are not holding at that level, or are not ready to take that step. We're going to be going for Rosh Hashanah. Many of you are going to be joining the yeshiva davening. Yeah? Wow. I'm going to buy a new tie for that. And Rosh Hashanah davening, if you don't want to look to see what the davening is all about, it's pretty boring. A lot of words. It's slichas on steroids. And Yom Kippur is even worse. If it's just something, and they have the survival kit for Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, and just like they sell Haggadahs for the 30-minute seders for those who can't handle it, I'm sure you could find a 30-minute machzor. And I could even show you where the Reformed Temple is in Canton. They won't even have services on Sunday. Sunday is, Sem Gedalia. They're a little early. Point, you could turn, but sometimes you say, you know what, we are blessed. We're going to be here. We have Rosh Hashanah. Let's try to stop and think what Rosh Hashanah is all about. The whole concept, we heard already yesterday, the whole concept of Rosh Hashanah, we don't ask for mechila, slicha, mechila, even though it's a day of judgment. the halacha tells us a person has to take a haircut. See, zriza magdim l'mitzvos. Some people already got their haircut. Some only got half. The rest is coming next week. But when it comes to getting ready Rosh Hashanah, it's all about crowning HaKadosh Baruch Hu, making him our king. And it ain't melech b'lo there is no king without a nation. And therefore, we reiterate and we crown Hashem HaKadosh Baruch Hu again. We crown him to be our king. And we say great psukim and great tefillas on Rosh Hashanah. And take a minute. Even if other people around you want to schmooze or they want to read the Ami magazine or the Zman from 1944 to hear about some spy that only had one eye, which is the regular siddur, the daily siddur that we see used sometimes, the Shabbos siddur, the Shabbos edition. But it's important on a day like Rosh Hashanah to stop and say, you know what? I'm not the same guy as I was a couple weeks ago. I'm not the same guy as I was last year. I'm going to take a machzor and I'm going to try to learn about all of these tefillas and what the significance of Rosh Hashanah is. This coming Shabbos, which is tonight, is the last Shabbos of the year. Tonight is the 23rd of Elul, which is the last Shabbos of the year. Sunday is the last Sunday of the year, the last Monday of the year. Tuesday is the last Tuesday of the year. Very good. What happened on the 20th? Wednesday, I'm not sure. Wednesday is Zevi. What happened on... Does anyone know what happened on the 23rd of Elul? 9/11? It was. What else happened on the 23rd of Elul? The other 9/11. What's the other 9/11 that changed the whole world?
January 6th.
I'll tell you what happened, what the first 9/11 was. Hashem created the world. Tomorrow is the anniversary when Hashem created the world. But we don't celebrate the 23rd of Elul. I mean, I do. I do everything different. No, what Hashem created the world. The first day, Vayer Vayibaki Yom Rishon is tomorrow. But why don't we celebrate it? This is just light.
I'm saying that's what it was.
It wasn't even light. It was just separating. Yeah, you're right. It's nothing. Yeah, if I keep the lights on in your room, it's nothing. Yeah, you'll be screaming your head off. Anyone's going to be. The reason why we don't make a big deal, or at least you didn't know to make a big deal out of it, even though it changed the world became a world. Why? Because the purpose of Hashem creating the world. Would you like to put on a yarmulke, please? I'm not used to speaking to a high school girl. Okay. The reason why we don't make a big deal out of it is because the whole purpose of the 6 days of creation, the whole purpose of the Sheshes Mei Bereshis was for Adam Rishon, for us. It's all about us. Until we didn't come around, therefore Rosh Hashanah is really the anniversary, what we call the anniversary when Hashem created the world. How many years ago did HaKadosh Baruch Hu create the world? 5,600. 5,700. 81. You guys have been. COVID really had an effect. Some people miss them. Some people got off. 2023. Very good. We're at 5783. We're going. What happened? Which number is after 5783? 58. No. 5784. Listen, you have to know these are important things. You can't come in not knowing the year. We're about to start a new year, but it's important to know that the last Shabbos of the year, you could try, if you keep Shabbos and you daven on Shabbos and you act like a real Ben Torah person that makes a Kiddush Hashem, you could perfect. If there was Chas v'Shalom, which I'm sure there wasn't, but just in case, I'm saying this in case you have a friend maybe. If you ever had a Shabbos that wasn't kept to the highest standard, if you didn't daven to the highest standard, If you didn't hear Kriyas HaTorah, by the way, those of you who get an Aliyah, you should know there are 6 other people that are getting Aliyahs, and there's somebody coming from after. So even though you got an Aliyah, you could say there's a Haftarah every Shabbos. It's not just by Yer Mitzvah. Every Shabbos there's a Haftarah.
Really?
Some of them are longer, some of them are shorter. I'm telling you, it's kedai to stay for the whole davening, from 9:45 till 11:30. It's nicht gefährlich. There are movies that are longer than that. There are commercials on YouTube that are longer than that. Do you know what a commercial is? It's the bottom of a plate. Yeah. How do you know? Your tact phone, no? Yeah. But the point is that davening is an hour and 45 minutes. 2 hours, but it's a small parsha. Between the two parshas, one parsha has 40 psukim and one has 30. When the years that we read them separate, there are minchas on Shabbos. There's Mondays and Thursdays that have longer Kriyas HaTorah. It's just small parshas, 70 psukim. It doesn't take so long. You stay for the whole davening. You make sure that you bench. You come for Kiddush, you bench. You stay there for Mincha. And if there was a Shabbos Chas v'Shalom throughout the year that you didn't take a nap, this Shabbos, Mitzvah Hashem, you could take a nap, so to chaperayim for all other. And the same goes with Sunday and every other day of the week. You could try to correct if there was a mistake. Let's try to make the last week of the year a little not on fire, but the hoibena matziv, a little better than toasted. Not like what we saw yesterday. That's completely toasted. Talking about the toasted. Toasted is there? Okay. Hopefully, we all bring nachas ruach to HaKadosh Baruch Hu.